Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the one about filtration. So filtration comes in all shapes and sizes. Big boxes, little boxes, and there's a dance in between. I want to start off with the all-in-one filter unit. And I have one here which is the Filtral UVC 3000 from Oase. Most of our products come from Oase, I have to say. They are pretty damn good, made in Germany, and as you would expect, the quality is fantastic. This filtration unit and pump actually has a filter system within it. So if you look at the box itself, you can take the top off, and maybe I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So lifting the top off, you'll see that there is a blue sponge. The sponge acts as a filter in itself. The pump draws in the water, water goes through, catches all the big bits in the pond. There is a secondary sponge underneath which acts as a bacteria filter. So it houses the good bacteria that takes care of the ammonia, nitrates and nitrites. And underneath that again is a small ceramic media bag which also holds the bacteria. You can also use this as a water feature if you needed to, or you could just use it as a pump under the water directly. Moving on from the little box to the much bigger box. This is a BioTec 30. The koi purists love this because it has no moving parts, no electricity, no mechanism to mess about with. What we do have though is pretty much the same principle as the small one we saw just earlier on. We have our sponges, as you can see, just in this kind of chamber, and they catch all the debris and colonate the media as we expect, the bacteria as we spoke about. These are pull-out filter units. Hey, why aren't you coming out? These are filter mats which basically catch the rubbish and the bits out of the pond coming through, and the same with the brushes at the end. So just to remind you that this BioTec 30 doesn't come with a pump. Depending on the size of your pond, this will manage up between 120 to 130,000 litres, which is quite a significant volume. However, if you were to come down, we could advise you on the size of pump depending on your pond size when we see you next. Introduce you to the ProfiClear Premium Fleece 750. The first thing I would say, this comes highly recommended by me. Why me? Because I have one and I've been using one for the last 18 months. It's a fairly easy, straightforward filter system that can be used on its own depending on the size of your pond. What it has, if we go back to the first small filter, has all the elements of that, including a wave filter that comes, the water comes through this in the first chamber into the second chamber where we have the media, which is in a cage, which after every 30, 40, maybe an hour, depending on the quality of the water, will be controlled by a level and also a controller which looks pretty funky on the outside, which in turn will turn a fleece which will pick up all the debris that comes out of your pond down to 30 millicrons. I hope I said that right. 30 millicrons. I did read somewhere where it goes down to about 3, but I'll say 30 for the sake of the exercise. These are replaceable and will last depending on the quality of your water, anything between 3 weeks to 3 months. And of course you can buy all the replacements from DH Water Gardens. I'd like to thank you for joining me in talking about filtration, although we only touched the top of the iceberg, if I'm honest. I think what I'd like to do at some point, and some point soon, is to make sure that you come and see my setup to give you a different perspective on what can be done from depending on the budget that you have. I look forward to seeing you next time. Subscribe if you like it, make comments, but try to keep them clean, and I'll speak to you soon. Oh, I like that. Did that work? Who knows? Oh, you didn't feel it then?